Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural meeting of the newly elected Sunshine Coast Regional District Board. My name is Dean McKinley. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer here at the Sunshine Coast Regional District. I'd like to start by acknowledging that the Sunshine Coast Regional District is located on the traditional lands of the Shishel and Squamish First Nations. So what's ahead this afternoon? Well, today we have the pleasure of swearing in our newly elected SCRD directors. I'll start with our rural directors. Representing Area A, Leonard Lee. Area B, Justine Gabias. Area D, Kelly Bax. Area E, Donna McMahon. And Area F, Kate Stamford. Next up, our municipal directors. Representing the Shishel Nation Government District, Councillor Philip Paul. Town of Gibsons, Mayor Silas White. District of Sechelt, Mayor John Henderson. And District of Sechelt, Councillor Alton Toth. To all of you, I say welcome, and on behalf of our staff, we are very much looking forward to working with all of you throughout this term. I would also like to take the opportunity to highlight the uniqueness of our board, and that we're privileged to have representation from the Shishel Nation at the table. The Shishel Nation became the first self-governing nation in Canada in 1986. On behalf of our staff, I would like to reaffirm our strong commitment to continuing to build our relationship with the Shishel Nation through the lens of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action and the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. With that, I'd like to welcome our corporate officer, Sherry Reed. Sherry, before you come up, I want to recognize you, which I know you're uncomfortable with, and your entire team for the incredible job that you did in administering the recent local government and school board elections. I know that it was a busy time for all of you, and we're very grateful to have you all on our team and for all of the work you did. Sherry Reed, everybody.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is my absolute honor and privilege to administer the oaths of office for the directors who are newly elected and appointed to the board of the Sunshine Coast Regional District. I'll first call upon the electoral area directors from Egmont-Pender Harbor, Half Moon Bay, Roberts Creek, Elphinstone, who is joining us via Zoom, Director Donna McMahon on screen, and West Howe Sound. Please come forward to swear your oaths. Everyone? Okay, and please repeat after me. I state name, do solemnly affirm that.
I, Kelly Bax, do solemnly affirm that
I am qualified to hold the office of Director for the Sunshine Coast Regional District to which I have been elected.
I am qualified to hold the office of Director for the Sunshine Coast Regional District to which I have been elected.
I will perform the duties of my office faithfully and with integrity, and I will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters.
I will perform the duties of my office faithfully and with integrity, and I will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters.
I will disclose any direct or indirect financial interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion or vote in respect of the matter.
I will disclose any direct or indirect financial interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion or vote in respect of the matter.
I will abide by statutes, bylaws, and policies that govern the regional district and promote openness, accountability, and responsible leadership.
I will abide by statutes, bylaws, and policies that govern the regional district and promote openness, accountability, and responsible leadership.
I will encourage fair process and adequate consultation with those affected by decisions.
I will encourage fair process and adequate consultation with those affected by decisions.
I will demonstrate respectful behavior and treat others with courtesy.
I will demonstrate respectful behavior and treat others with courtesy.
I will provide stewardship of the public assets through the development and evaluation of the regional district's policies and programs. And I will make informed, transparent decisions that consider the best interests and well-being of both the area I represent and the Sunshine Coast Regional District as a whole. Thank you. So now I'm going to call each of you up individually just to do the signing. We'll start with the director from Area A, Mayor Harper, and Lee. Please join in welcoming Leonard Lee. Please join in welcoming the director for Area B. Please join in welcoming Kelly Bass, director. I also want to acknowledge the director from Area E, Elphinstone, Donna McMahon, who swore our oath earlier today. Welcome. Please join in welcoming Lee Stanford, Area F. Okay, I'll call next upon the appointed directors from the municipalities, including the Sechelt Nation Government District, the Town of Gibsons, and the District of Sechelt. Okay, please repeat after me. I state name, do solemnly affirm that. I am qualified to hold the office of Director for the Sunshine Coast Regional District to which I have been appointed. I will perform the duties of my office faithfully and with integrity, and I will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. I will disclose any direct or indirect financial interest I have in a matter and will not participate in the discussion or vote in respect of the matter. I will abide by statutes, bylaws, and policies that govern the regional district and promote openness, accountability, and responsible leadership. I will encourage fair process and adequate consultation with those affected by decisions. I will demonstrate respectful behavior and treat others with courtesy. I will provide stewardship of the public assets through the development and evaluation of the regional district's policies and programs. And I will make informed, transparent decisions that consider the best interests and well-being of both the area I represent and the Sunshine Coast Regional District as a whole.
And I will make informed, transparent decisions that consider the best interests and well-being of both the area I represent and the Sunshine Coast Regional District as a whole.
Okay. I'll start with Director Philip.
He almost signed into some Mary Fixins.
Yes.
We'll give you more work to do.
Please join me in welcoming Director Philip. Thanks. Please join in welcoming Director Silas White. Please join in welcoming Director John Henderson, District Procedure. And please join in welcoming Director Alton Todd, District Procedure. So I am pleased to present the 2022 to 2026 Board of Directors for the Sunshine Coast Regional District. Congratulations. I will now call to order the business portion of the meeting, the inaugural meeting of November 10th, 2022 of the Sunshine Coast Regional District at 2:13 p.m. And I would also like to acknowledge that meetings of the Sunshine Coast Regional District take place on and within the territory of the Shishal and Squamish First Nations. Our first order of business today will be the election of the chair. The procedure for election of the chair is set out in the board procedures bylaw. I will call for nominations 3 times. At the close of nominations, if more than one candidate has been nominated, each will be given a maximum of 3 minutes to address the board in favor of their candidacy. I will then hand out blank ballots on which you will write the name of the candidate of your choice. We will collect and count the ballots and inform the board if there is a successful candidate. A majority of votes of the members present is required to elect the chair, which means that one of the candidates must receive at least 5 votes in order to be elected. If no one receives at least 5 votes, the voting will be repeated. When the voting is repeated, all names will remain on the ballot unless a nominee withdraws. Are there any questions or requests from the board relating to the process? Would the board members like to know how many votes each candidate receives? And if so, would one of the directors like to make a motion to that effect? Okay, hearing no questions or requests for recording the number of votes, I will call a first time for nominations for the position of Chair for the Sunshine Coast Regional District.
I'd like to nominate Leonard Lee.
Director Lee, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I'll accept. Thank you.
I will now call a second time for nominations for the position of Chair for the Sunshine Coast Regional District. I will now call a third and final time for nominations for Chair of the Sunshine Coast Regional District. There being no further nominations, I declare Leonard Lee elected as Chair of the Sunshine Coast Regional District by acclamation. And I will now pass the meeting over to the Chair to conduct the election of the Vice Chair. Congratulations.
Oh, I forgot my sign.
You got a live mic.
So the next business is the election of the Vice Chair for 2023. I'll call a first time for nominations for the position of Vice Chair for the Sunshine Coast Regional District.
I nominate Director Donna McMahon.
Do we have a seconder?
She
Yes.
needs to accept.
Oh, I forgot a thing. Donna, do you accept? Yes, she does. Okay. So do we have a seconder? Just, thank you.
No seconder required,
No seconder required?
Nope.
Well, that's easy.
right?
So I'd like to call for nominations for the position of Vice Chair for the Sunshine Coast Regional District for a second time.
My microphone doesn't seem to be working.
Yes,
Pushing the wrong button.
Director Henderson?
Who'd know? It's my pleasure to nominate Councillor Alton Toth from the District of Sea Schultz.
Alden, will you accept?
I accept.
Thank you. I will call a third time for nominations for the position of Vice Chair for the Sunshine Coast Regional District. Having received 2 nominations, each candidate will be given a maximum of 3 minutes to address the board prior to an election by ballot. The candidates are Director Donna McMahon and Director Alton Toth. Who's first here?
Donna.
Donna, would you like to go first? Can you talk?
Can you hear me?
We can't hear you. IT?
Can you hear me?
Just a sec, Donna, we're having technical difficulties. Sorry, Director McMahon. Can't hear you yet. No.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm fine not giving a speech if she can't.
We can hear very faint. I wonder if there's a volume in here.
There should be fine. That's the only thing I can check.
Queen. Well, Grace was just gonna check the volume in the room. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we'll put her on speaker.
Okay, Donna, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the phone up to the microphone. But
Ask her to mute her,
can you mute,
your
can you mute your Zoom feed?
laptop.
Okay, does that work? Wow.
No?
Just a sec here.
See if that'll work.
Try that, Donna?
Too many sources of feedback. Can you hear me in the room?
Yes, we can.
Is my audio working, Sherry?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's gonna be the same sound. So so I turn my audio off. How do I turn my audio off? How do I turn my audio off? Oh, I got it.
So can you in the room? Something funny going on in the room.
This will work.
Does this work? What do we? No.
No.
Donna, can you just try again with your computer, if you're there?
Jerry, or Donna, it's gonna be town crier style.
Yes. That's okay, I have deaf relatives, I can do this. So this is
So,
probably not the time to tell you that I really didn't prepare a speech. The last time the two of us went up against each other for vice chair, I had a little sign that said, "Vote me." But I'm actually here in person. Look at this. So the governance structure that we're handcuffed to is not as inclusive or as collaborative as most of us would like. So we have to put in a lot of extra effort to reach out to each other and build relationships of trust and respect in order to make the board successful. I'm very happy to work with our chair to do that. I would also like to focus a great deal of my effort on provincial advocacy work, especially legislative reform for regional districts, through my position on the board of AVICC, Association of Vancouver Island and Coastal Communities. Sorry, not throwing acronyms at you right off the top. This is particularly critical for the rural areas of the regional district because our residents have no other local government other than the 5 of us here, and they need us to deal with the many, many issues that we have. So I am happy to put a lot of time into organizing our advocacy efforts as a board to make them more effective and more successful. So thank you very much. And I'll go back to the doghouse now.
thank you, Donna. Thank you, Director McMahon. Now we'll call on Director Toth.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you for the nomination. Those of you who've gotten to know me over the last 4 years already know this, and those of you who are just getting to know me need to know. I'm pretty plainly spoken. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I'm not interested in playing gotcha politics, either with the members of our community or with any of you. The role of chair is a big commitment. I spent a lot of time since the election contemplating whether it was something I wanted to take on, but at the end of the day, I'm happy supporting Director Lee as chair for the next year. The fact of the matter is that the Central Sunshine Coast has some pretty massive regional issues that need to be worked out. Our communities spoke to us loud and clear this year about water. We know that we have projects underway to service this need, but our residents need us to continue to push forward on this front. I've heard that some of you may think that I'm impatient. I think that I've shown that I can be exactly as patient as I need to be, when I need to be. But truth be told, in the environment that we're operating in right now with the province and with the feds, we need a little more rock music. Thank you, Director Bags. But in the environment that we're operating with, the province and the feds, a little impatience with the right agencies is exactly what we need to see our crisis through to the end. Our residents have told us loud and clear that they see that we are doing that work, but stage 4 as we approach winter and as the snow creeps down the mountain isn't acceptable to anybody in our community, and it isn't acceptable to any of us either. We know that the problems lie with the provincial approval process, and that's something that we need to push hard for, to advocate for change with. We all come to this table with diverse opinions and diverse backgrounds, and every single one of them should be respected, whether it's a journalist with a pen or a blacksmith forging a sword or somewhere in between. I want to spend this coming year working to make sure that every single member of this board is in a comfortable place and is positioned well so that in a year's time, they could be chair. You know, like Director Lee, like none of us want to do this forever. You know, we don't want to make a career out of this. I'm committing to you a level of transparency and inclusion that you deserve. And I pledge to make myself available on a regular basis, in person, one-on-one, to help your communities move their interests forward in a collaborative manner. The spirit of Team Sunshine Coast lives or dies by the choices that we make at this table. Thank you.
I'm sure that was exactly 2 minutes. Thank you.
3 minutes, thank you.
So, corporate officer, will you pass out the ballots and we'll get on with the voting?
Testing, does it work now?
Chair, we have the results.
Yes.
We would like to inform the board that Donna McMahon is the newly elected chair of the Sunshine Coast Regional District. Vice chair, sorry.
I'm okay with it. Congratulations, Director McMahon. Yeah, let's see where we are here. Oh, I get an address. Good. I get my glasses on here. It's going to be short, by the way, you guys.
It's only 3 pages.
Yeah. I got to beat Director Toth. First of all, I'd like to thank my fellow directors for giving me a chance to represent our team. I hope to prove to them that their trust in me is justified. We have to start work immediately, as there are multiple things to do that just can't wait. But I know we're up to the challenge, especially with the ongoing support of our knowledgeable and dedicated SCRD management team and the equally dedicated, knowledgeable, and hardworking staff that do the real work and make all of us look good. Very shortly, we get the privilege of creating our own strategic plan, which will set the high-level priorities over the next year or two and form the reasons to keep the current projects and services going, or change them, or create new as we choose. Pretty heady stuff, but I'm confident we're up to the task ahead of us. We've already started work building the greater Team Sunshine Coast by way of our recent board orientation and team building exercises. It's very gratifying to see how our staff work together to get it done, and noted they set a great example for us to follow, which I'm confident we will. I have to resist the urge to pitch my favorite projects, but most of them are in support of things we all need done. But it's much more important that we take the time to look at them in the context of setting our new team priorities. I'm pretty sure the big ones will include water, solid waste, recycling, and recreation. But maybe some surprises will be in store for all of us as we get settled into our new jobs. We actually live in exciting times with many new opportunities and adventures in front of us. The folks living here on the Sunshine Coast expect us to not only continue providing the many services we are legislated to provide, but are also expecting us to advocate on their behalf to other levels of government. In my view, this is one area we could do better if we choose to, not only identifying improvements needed, but finding ways to work with them to implement the improvements. So our futures here include new friendships to forge, ongoing ones to enjoy, tough decisions to make, failures to learn from, and successes to celebrate. I'm hoping we do it with determination, vigor, boldness, unity of purpose, and most importantly, with patience and good humor. This should be an enjoyable 4 years for everyone involved, and it's our job to help make it that way. My thanks to everyone here and those that support and encourage us. I know it's appreciated by all and what keeps us motivated to work on your behalf. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. So there's one last item of business, and that is a motion for adjournment. Thank you, Director Toth. Is it seconded? Seconded. All in favor? And we are done. Thank you very much. And there is a reception to follow.